I plugged back into the Matrix. Yep, I watched the Matrix Resurrections. Okay, so I'll tell you my frame of mind going into this one. Love the first one, obviously. The second and third one, I remember nothing about those films because they're so convoluted. Yeah, I've erased them from my memory. Other than the sequence in the second one where Trinity is on the motorcycle and weaving through the cars on the highway. That was an amazing sequence. That's the only thing I remember about those movies. Okay, so here we go into the fourth one. The plot is definitely simplified compared to the second and third one, which is great because yeah, those were impossible to follow. So the plot is simplified. I did think for the first hour it got a little bit too simple because the first hour is basically, hey, remember the scene from the original one? Yeah, well, we're kind of going to do the same scene again, and we're going to remind you of that scene by cutting in the original. Like, I feel like for the first hour of this movie, 5 minutes of it are the original film because they cut in so many shots of the first film. And it almost went into self-parody because, like, it was so on the nose. Like, I mean, there's a scene between Jonathan Groff and Keanu where he's saying Warner Brothers is going to go ahead and make another Matrix, and you know we can't get out of it because of our contracts. So it was like a little bit too on the nose there, and it keeps doing that kind of stuff for the first hour. So it's like, okay, like let's move on. So yeah, I thought that was odd, and I thought it almost lacked confidence that they weren't doing something new, that they were just kind of rehashing the first one, and that goes to Lana Wachowski's direction. I know the first one, I mean, that changed the action genre and what they did with action in terms of the slow-mo, in terms of the 360 stuff. Like, I mean, that became the norm in action movies. So I get it would be very daunting to have to do something new. And I feel like she almost throws in the cards and doesn't even try. Like the sequence that recreates that Trinity opening sequence from the first one, she doesn't even try to do something different. She just like kind of takes it from the outside perspective, which I thought was, yeah, kind of throwing in the cards. So yeah, for the first hour, there's not that much innovation. You're kind of rehashing the first one, just almost like a greatest hits. The actors kind of struggle. Like, I mean, Yahya Abdul Mateen the second, I love him, but he's just kind of asked to do an impression of Lawrence Fishburne, which like that's kind of a disservice to Yahya too. So that doesn't really work. And I gotta say, I love Keanu Reeves. That first hour, I think this might be his worst performance he's ever given. He's just going like, this can't be real. This can't be real. This can't be real. So I don't know what was going on. That it felt both Lana and Keanu were really unsure themselves of what they were doing here. The person that is pitch perfect is Carrie-Anne Moss. Every scene she has, she just knows what she's doing. Like, I mean, this is not a spoiler. You know the fact that Neo and Trinity are, you know, back in the Matrix at the beginning of the film. They don't know their previous, what they did. But in the scenes with Carrie-Anne, just in the eyes, you can see that she is kind of subconsciously aware of who she really is. It's fascinating. It's a great performance. Yeah, Carrie-Anne is note perfect in this film. And also, too, with Carrie-Anne, it frustrates me that Hollywood has not used her more. Like, I mean, she was also Oscar-worthy in Memento, which was kind of in the age of Matrix. But since then, since Matrix wrapped up, they really haven't given her very much. And so this is almost like how good Carrie-Anne is in this movie. It's almost like an FU to Hollywood being like, hello, give her some more roles. Like, I mean, I can't help but think this is a case of ageism because why isn't Carrie-Anne, you know, have the career that Keanu Reeves does? I don't know. You tell me. I didn't think the new cast members necessarily worked. Jonathan Groff, Neil Patrick Harris. I don't know if I just too much identified them with their previous roles, but I didn't think they worked here. Like, Jonathan Groff didn't give me that same sense of terror that Hugo Weaving did in any kind of way. I thought Priyanka Chopra, Jonas, sorry, need to add the Jonas in there. I thought she actually worked in her role. So yeah, I did enjoy I guess the last hour and a half more than that first hour, which is a complete rehash of the original. And then the final action sequence, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything. Then it gets to something innovative. It felt exciting to me. It felt fresh. It felt new. So yeah, this film does get somewhere eventually. So it's odd that it was a slow, very, very slow upward trajectory that this film has. So I did enjoy it more as it went along. For the first hour, I would have given it like a C minus. I think with this film, I'm going back and forth between B minus and C plus, because B minus I still recommend it. C plus is like I don't recommend it. I think I'm gonna go with B minus. I'm willing to like give it that little push that I do recommend watching it. It is fun. It's fun. It's not anything innovative and original and terribly exciting. But yeah, in the end, I liked how it ended and what it seemed to be saying and kind of the twist on the whole 4 films it gives us. I'm not spoiling anything. And here's my prediction. I think we're going to hear the announcement of an HBO Max Matrix series coming very soon, in the next few days, couple weeks, starring a certain cast member that we now see in a new light. I'll keep it vague. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on the Matrix Resurrections.